I hear from women all the time, like they don't feel good, their mood is bad, their energy sucks, they can't sleep, they're inflamed, all the things. They go to the doctor, they get their blood drawn, and they're like, oh, you're totally fine. Your hormones are fine, everything's fine. Can you relate to that?
Oh
Oh
my
my God.
gosh, yes.
I know. So, Jody, that's your story, right? Thank you so much for joining me here today. Please, if you would, tell us your story. Tell us what you did.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me, Dale. I really appreciate that. I'm so excited to share what I did. So, my journey really just started it started like 13 and a half years ago.
Wow.
And I started in perimenopause. I've always had a hormonal issue, even as a young child. So, I was put on like the birth control pill super young to help with my cycles, which I think just pretty disrupted my hormones for the rest of my life. Perimenopause hit, and it was a whole new game change. Like, I felt like a brick just came out of the heavens, and I wasn't sleeping through the night. I was gaining weight. I had brain fog. I had inflammation in my body so much that I could barely step on the floor when I got out of bed. Like, my bottom of my feet would hurt. My hands were hurting. They even checked me for rheumatoid arthritis.
Wow.
So I had rashes on my face. I had them so bad on my face, and my lips would peel all the time. And I would have heart palpitations that would send me to the emergency room. So it was a constant battle trying to figure out what's wrong and not getting answers. So I remember going to the emergency room with heart palpitations, and they go, "Oh, you're good. Everything's fine. This happened twice. You're fine. Nothing's wrong with you. It's just stress." What's that? Like, what do you do with that? Like, what does stress mean? We can't take all the stress out of our life. So I didn't understand it. So then perimenopause came, and it just, a whole slew of symptoms: hot flashes, night sweats, not sleeping. I was losing my hair. I was gaining weight. I was extremely exhausted. I didn't want to be around people. Became super social anxiety. I just wanted to be by
Wow.
myself all the time. So I was desperate. I would ask friends about it. They had no answers. So I just thought, like all of us, I'll just go to the doctor and get everything checked out and see what's wrong with me. And so I told the doctor, and he, just kind of went, "Well, we'll test your hormones." So running all the tests came back. Hey, everything's in range. And you're just like, I literally sat there and wanted to just bawl right there in the
Wow.
moment. I actually wanted something to be wrong so that I could actually fix it. But I remember coming out of there, he's like, "It's okay. We can put you back on the birth control pill." Now, this is before I was still in peri, uh, before HRT was reckoned, because that was still recommended. And so I left that office, and I got in my car, and I boohooed all the way home, because I just felt like, how do I tell my husband, for one, that nothing's wrong with him when he thinks I'm going crazy? And then how do I deal? And that night, I remember just, I went to bed early. I cried all night just because I was like, "Is this as good as it's going to get?" I don't want to do life anymore. Even though I had a
Wow.
beautiful life, I had a great husband, had great kids, I just didn't want to be here anymore. And that brought a whole bunch of shame and guilt and all that because of those feelings. So I started just asking myself all these questions. Why is my hair falling out? What causes that? Instead of just trying to mask it with something, I tried to really find what the core problem was. And so that just led me down a road to really figuring out. And I came up with 6 things, and I'll share the 6 things with you. 6 things that have completely changed my life. And this is what I do for women. I help them each step of the way feeling better. And the very first step is nervous regulation. I figured out what it meant to actually relieve the stress from my body, letting my body know that it was safe once again. And I did that. I became an EFT practitioner, and that's not to become just a practitioner. I actually did it for myself. So powerful that we can also relieve griefs and traumas that I had suffered in the past that my body was actually hanging on to. Our body holds on to these things until we release them. Okay. And so there's past traumas and griefs and sadness and stuff that I learned that I could let go of. And then just the daily stresses, learning how to tap on our acupressure points and relieving that stress. This is one of the most simplest ways to lower your cortisol. By tapping, you can lower your cortisol by 43% in
Wow.
that moment. That's powerful. The second thing I learned about is lymphatic drainage. I learned that I was so clogged with so many toxins in my body that I had so much inflammation in my joints and my feet and everything. And it was because, of course, cortisol. That's what our stress hormone is. When we have too much of it, it causes this inflammation. And I learned how to do lymphatic drainage, not in these massive ways, but just simple ways, going for really long walks or doing facial brushing or doing brushing on your body or jumping, just jumping on a trampoline or vibrating, just something easy and fun to help get that lymphatic drainage going, to get the toxins out of my body. The next thing I learned is I learned that I need to eat for safety. The first thing I did was try and restrictive dieting. When I started going through all this, I started gaining weight and was like, okay, I need to restrict dieting. I need not to
Mhm.
eat, or fasting way too long, and had no idea that that was stressing my body out. Like, I was telling my body, I don't know when you're going to eat again, but whatever you're eating, I'm going to hang on to. I didn't know I was doing that to my body. Or I was taking out all food groups, no carbs, all protein, no fiber, all this kind of stuff, realizing I was taking so many nutrients out of my body. So I learned to eat for safety again, and learned to do that by, regulating my nervous system and then telling my body, here's the stuff you actually need, your nutrients go. Then I learned how to exercise right. I was doing boot camps. I was doing all these crazy things. One of the great privileges we have at this time alive through perimenopause and post and on is we get to be gentler with our bodies and still have a great results from it. So I learned what kind of exercise actually benefited me instead of stressing me out. And then the fifth thing, I learned supplementation. I learned that there are some supplements that we have to take on a daily basis to give our body what it actually needs that our body can't do anymore. And then I learned about targeted supplements that actually help us on our journey to feel better, like things that can take away our hot flashes and our night sets. We don't have to rely on medication. These things have been done for centuries, and that's what I started to learn about. Like, what did we do before? That was another question I asked. What did we do before medication? Does everybody feel this way? Do all countries do this? And so I started asking all these curious questions. And that's where, possibilities came up that I could take supplements to actually make me feel better. And then the last but not the least one of them is the words we say and the mindset we have actually can lower our cortisol or lower our cortisol. It can dysregulate our nervous system, or it can help our nervous system, help us feel safe or help us feel unsafe. If we say that we're going to have a tough time during menopause, we're going to have a tough time during menopause. If we say there's nothing that can help me besides medication, then nothing's going to help you besides medication. If you're looking in the mirror because you're so exhausted that you can't exercise, you tell yourself, I'm lazy, I'm fat, this is just the way I am, then you are telling your body is feeling unsafe with those words, and it can rise your cortisol. So those 6 factors is what
Wow.
I teach my ladies, and it has transformed how women feel and myself.
What an incredible journey, incredible information. I love, love, love it. It's not just one thing, right? There's a
No,
couple of things. You're encompassing body, mind, and spirit through all of it, which is a
absolutely.
beautiful thing. And to me, taking control of your health and not relying on medications and that, really understanding your body is really where healing can take place. And we do have to take it into our own hands because doctors aren't designed for that. They're what they're taught is, a pill for every ill, right? This
Yeah,
symptom, this pill. So I
yeah,
love that you challenged that and went on and did and figured out your own thing. So the question from that I hear is, and from women that just feel like this, like they're overwhelmed and they just don't know where to start. Like I feel like, is there one place, like what is the first step that you feel would make the other steps just flow easier? Because sometimes when you have too many things that you try to start at once, you're just like, oh, you get like frozen in time. So,
yeah.
if you were so for the women that you serve, where do you start them?
What I start with women usually when they come to me is because they're overwhelmed. Like they hear so many people talk about so many things and everything they should be doing. They don't know where to start.
Right.
And so where I start, and you can be at the beginning of this for a very long time and you're going to see amazing results. My biggest thing is doing tiny little things to get big results. little consistent things to get big results. Where I start my ladies is first with nervous regulation and some targeted supplements. So I want them to start feeling better so we can do the rest of the stuff. Okay.
Right.
When your nervous system is taxed, when you're in a fight and flight or freeze mode, that's where our system can go. And there's so many things that causes us to be that way, like a bad text from somebody or a bad email or traffic can put us in the stress on our body. So learning how to relieve those stresses and for your body to become more stress resilient.
Mhm.
And then I do targeted supplements. I help women that, especially the ones that don't want to be on HRT, or even if they want to make their natural hormones start to work again, I give them something so that signaling starts to happen again so that they can start to feel just a little bit better so that we can do the next step.
Right.
When we don't feel like it and we've got too much stuff in front of us, we're not going to do anything, like
Right.
nothing. So just really just taking that one little small step to feel better, we can actually start doing the rest and it won't feel like another thing to do. We'll actually want to do it because we feel so
Right.
good.
You'll be
Yeah.
like more motivated. So that's
Yeah.
that's exactly how I feel. It's like start with one thing that is going to make them feel a little bit different, and those are the targeted supplements
Yeah,
that really
absolutely.
will that are clinically studied. You will feel different. So that gets them into like, oh, I feel good. I have a little bit more energy. Maybe I'm going to go take a walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just starts them on like a really positive trajectory. And then with the mindset piece, like saying the things to themselves, like catching themselves, like, what am
Hmm.
I saying to myself? Do I believe that there's an answer, or am I going to just like surrender to, oh, this is
Yeah.
what it's supposed to be? Which kind of brings me to another thing, and I don't want to take over the conversation, but I honestly feel that in this society, in our country, the when we have menopause and we have premenopause and all the things, PMS, all this stuff,
Mhm.
I feel like these are natural things that our body goes through. Like they shouldn't be so symptomatic. You know what I mean? There's got to be a reason. Things are off balance. Like there's so much infertility now. It's like hormones are out of whack. And I think, like you mentioned, like it does go back to stress, really. So again, that
Yeah.
brings me to like
Yeah.
the best way to start is to build that stress resilience. And you can do
Yeah.
that with
Yeah.
targeted supplementation, which I love. And it's
Absolutely.
simple, just simple to start. So
Simple to start.
so this is great, such great information. Like we'll leave can you leave your information in the comments after
Yeah,
you
sure.
leave here, and then so people can get a hold of you if they want to learn how to do the tapping. I know, and I've heard from other people that have worked with you that they love the tapping. You know what I mean? And of course, we have thousands of people that use our targeted supplements to help with hormone balance
Absolutely.
and stress regulation, all that kind of things. Thank you so much for joining me. I will have a replay for this. And if you have questions, certainly put them in the comments and we'll answer them. All right. You have a great day. And thanks again for joining us.